begin on that folded up blanket. You can cross your legs any comfortable way. Send some energy up the spine. And if ever sitting is uncomfortable or causes strain in the low back or the hips, adjust your stance. You can adjust your legs. You can move to a wall, getting some support from a wall, or you can just lay down on the mat. Finding your comfortable seat or your comfortable position. Let's do 3 cleansing breaths. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through the mouth with a sigh. Inhale through the nose. Exhale with a sigh. Inhale again. And exhale again. Now let's remember 4-part breathing. Inhale. Pause when you're full of air. Exhale. Pause when you're empty of air. Let's stick with that rhythm for a minute or two. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Allowing the pause between the inhales and exhales to slow the breath rhythm. Adding the pause requires just a little bit of mental energy, helping to focus all your mental energy toward the breath and let go of other thoughts. One more 4-part breath. Inhale, pause. Exhale, pause. We'll do one more breath practice a little bit later. For now, let's come onto our backs. And you can set the prop aside for now. We'll use it again in just a moment. Once you lie down, you can place your feet on the floor with knees up toward the sky. Notice the parts of your body that connect to earth. Your hips, ribs, head, the backs of your arms perhaps, and the soles of your feet. As you breathe, imagine imprinting those contact points down into earth, creating a stronger connection between the earth and your feet, hips, ribs, shoulders, and head. Let's begin to move our limbs, starting with the arms. Take your arms overhead, inhaling as they lift, exhaling as you lower. Inhale as you lift. As the arms raise, the chest may want to lift as well. Try to keep the ribs anchored to the mat. Exhale as you lower your arms. Again, the ribs are anchored as you lift the arms and lower. And now try alternating. Take one arm up, and as the other one comes up, you lower the first arm. Like a swimming motion, alternating one arm overhead. Still breathing rhythmically. Maintaining a connection of the ribs to the floor. One more time on each arm. And then place both arms beside your hips. Now we'll move the hips. Pressing down into your feet, engage the low abs to draw the hips upward, and then move the hips back down toward the earth. Inhaling as you lift, exhaling as you lower. You're sequencing through the spine, articulating each vertebrae as you lift, flexing the spine on the way up, and extending the spine back to neutral on the way down. One more. And leave the hips on the floor for a minute, or just a beat. Then let's lift the hips 1 inch off the floor. So you're just hovering the hips. And here we'll march the legs, lifting one leg and replacing, lift the other and replace. As you lift, try to avoid swinging the hips from side to side. This requires a little more engagement of your low abs to stabilize the pelvis. Your collarbones remain wide, shoulders wide. Breathe in. Notice the hips, notice if they're swinging. Try to resist for one more march on the right, one more march on the left, and release your hips back to earth. Let's continue to mobilize the hips and femurs. Bring your knees to your chest, one hand on each knee, Apanasana. Here, still notice your connection to the earth. The hips may have wanted to lift off, but you're keeping the hips connected. Let's keep the right knee, extend your left foot long. Left heel rests on the earth and your left foot is flexed. The whole left leg is engaged as if you were standing on the left leg while you're folding the right knee in toward your chest. Breathe. Notice your connection to the mat. As you exhale, exchange legs. The left knee is folding in, the right leg is reaching long. Foot flexed as if you were standing on it. Breathe in. And breathe out. Place the left foot on the mat. Bring your right knee across the left femur, so you're making a figure 4 with your lower unit. Bring your legs toward your chest, hugging the left thigh or thigh-shin combo. The right knee is opening out to the side. Breathe. Feel the parts of your back that connect to the earth. One more inhale. Exhale. Replace the left foot, exchange legs. Crossing left ankle over right femur. Bring your legs toward your chest. Wrapping your hands around the right thigh or the right shin. Notice the connection of your back to the floor as you breathe. One more leg preparation today. Extend your legs long with your feet flexed. You're welcome to place your hands on your hips, helping to notice if you're maintaining a stable pelvis, or you can just press your hands down on the mat. We're going to march our legs. So bring one leg up and slide it back down. Bring the other leg up and slide it back down. As you bring one leg up, you're thinking of creasing deeply in the hip Using the low abdomen to lift the thigh, lift the other thigh up, and lower down. And continue marching on your own pace. Getting used to this femur fold action. The pelvis is not moving, not rocking side to side, not tilting forward and back. You're isolating the movement of the femur. The only thing in the body moving is the femur. However, to stabilize the pelvis, you might feel movement or stability in the low abdomen. That's what enables you to isolate the movement of the femur. One more time on the right, and one more time on the left. You're welcome to stretch arms overhead, taking a full body stretch before we transition. We're coming to tabletop. However you'd like to transition, if you're able to rock forward and back comfortably, you can use that as your transition. Or you can roll to the right side and come to hands and knees. Hands and knees, I invite you to use the blanket, if you need, under the knees to give your knees support. Cat and cow. Inhale, extend your tail and crown. Exhale, reverse that shape, doming your spine. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. Continue on your own breath rhythm. Inhaling to extend. Exhaling to flex. 2 more. Return to neutral. In neutral, the spine is long and your gaze is just past your hands. We'll take Parigasana, gate pose. Pivot your right shin out. Extend the left leg toward the back of the mat. Your hips are opening toward the long edge of the mat. As the shoulders open, you circle your left arm overhead. Here in this side bending position, you're pressing down into the bottom arm firmly. This creates engagement between the bottom rib and hip, the oblique. On the top side, you're stretching from the fingers to your foot. Imagine your foot trying to reach further in space. This is creating engagement through the top side obliques. One more breath in. Reverse your arm circle and return to tabletop. Let's take that gate pose on the other side. Pivot your left shin out, extend right leg. The hips open, the shoulders follow, right arm circles above head. When you arrive in this position, activate the underside by pressing down into your left hand. You might feel those muscles of the torso fire. Similarly, on the top side, reach actively through the foot and the fingers, creating oblique engagement through the top. One more inhale. Reverse your arm circle back to tabletop. Let's do gate pose one more time on each side. Open to the left, inhale. Stay here for an exhale, activating the muscles, activating your spatial reach. And as you exhale, return to tabletop. Second side. Inhale as you open. Stay for a full breath cycle, activating the body on your next inhale. And returning to tabletop as you exhale. A new pose or a new variation on a pose. So come down to your forearms And you might walk your forearms forward and the hips forward of the knees a little bit. And here you can let your chest sink toward the floor, letting your upper back drape. You're welcome to bring your forehead down to the floor if that's available. If you're open for a little more intensity, you can take your forearms forward into puppy dog, full variation. Imagine the space in the armpits opening as the spine drapes. Then transition however is easiest for you yogis to your belly. And you could leave that blanket there as we do some preparation upper spine extension. Arms are in Sphinx pose, forearms on the floor. Lead with the crown of the head as you lift into extension. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Let's do 2 more just like that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. We're doing another set of 3. You're welcome to do them the exact same way on the forearms. Or you can slide your hands back 1 hand print. And we'll try that same thing. Now as you lift, as much as you're pressing down with the hands, you're also sliding backwards energetically with the hands. So the hands slide back as the spine slides forward. There's that counter action in the body. Here we go. On the hands or on the forearms, yogi's choice. Inhale, extend the upper spine. Exhale, release. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. Flexing back to neutral. 1 more time, extend. And release. So another variation here, we're going to move our legs. You can place your chin on your hands. You can place your forehead on your hands. You could place your hands beside your hips, rest your chin on the floor, or you can bring your hands underneath the pelvis. If your hands are under the pelvis, your palms face forward, palms down, so the hip bones rest on the wrists. Locust. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, gently lower. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, lower. Continue alternating. One more time on each leg, inhaling up and down, up and down. Let's gently transition to child's pose, yogis. Your knees can widen as you slide back. Hips move toward your heels. And you can take that blanket and adjust however you need. We've offered the adjustment of blanket under ankles, if you have tight ankles. You could also place the blanket under your forehead or a block under your forehead so you can rest your head comfortably on the mat. You could also roll your blanket and straddle it, creating a place for your pelvis to rest so you can let your hips soften down to earth. All of these are options to make this pose accessible and useful for your body. Wherever you are, find your breath rhythm. Maybe recount or reclaim that 4-part breath. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause. And let's bring the torso up. Slowly and gently, on your own time, come to standing. We'll set the blanket aside. We'll definitely use it later. Standing, you can be centered on your mat, really anywhere. We're going to do a half moon side bend. You can bring your feet together if that's stable, but for a little more stability, separate your feet about hips width apart. Palms face your side. Take your left arm up. As it lifts, your palm faces your ear. Breathe in, lengthen through the body. Breathe out, side bend to the right. Your hips might move to the left slightly. Your hips and shoulders stay square to the space in front of you. Shoulder is down, so there's space for the ear. Your side is bending, just like we did on the floor in gate pose. It might have a similar feeling, stretching one side and the other. Next, inhale, your body comes up. Turn the palm out as you lower your left hand. Palms are facing the legs again. Inhale your right arm up. The palm rotates and faces the ear. Then lift energetically through the center line of the body. Move your hips toward the right as you side bend to the left. That top shoulder might want to roll forward. Try to keep shoulders stacked, one on top of the other. Hips are square to the front. That also might want to, the right hip might also want to roll forward. On your next inhale, rise again. Turn your palm out and lower your arm. Let's do each side one more time. I'll offer a variation. This time, if you choose, you can lift both arms up or just your left arm. If you've lifted arms overhead, you can interlace your hands, releasing the index finger like a steeple. Inhale, create length through the center line of your body. Move your hips to the left as your torso goes to the right. And remember, you can have one arm or both. Enjoy one more inhale here in your half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Next inhale, bring your body up. You can bend your elbows if you have both arms or release your left arm. If you're doing one arm at a time, take your right arm up. If you're doing both arms, interlace your hands the awkward way, putting the wonky thumb on top. Inhale, get tall through the center of your body, hips right, torso left. Your mind is on the breath. On your next inhale, rise. And gently release hands back to the side of your legs. Pause here and take a breath. Let's come to the back of the mat and do Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. Turn your right foot out about 35 degrees. Lunge your left foot forward generously, 1 or 2 steps. Your hips are squaring to the front of the mat. Sweep your arms above head. You're welcome to take a V shape through the arms, or you can unite arms above head. I always encourage the V shape as it gives your arms space, or shoulders space. One more inhale. Exhale your hands to your hips. For a challenge, step backwards. For a little more easy transition, step forward. At the back of your mat, let's do the other side. Your feet are forward. Pivot your left foot out about 35 degrees, and then lunge forward on the right. If you didn't go quite as wide as you wanted, you can take another half lunge. Then square your hips. So I press into my back heel to steer the left hip forward. Then raise arms. Find breath rhythm with your mind's eye. As you exhale, bring hands to hips. Challenge, step back. A little more support, step forward. We'll do one more time on each side. Right foot out, left foot forward. Warrior one. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, put your mental energy on the directions of your body. Your hips are pressing into the earth, or your feet are pressing into the earth. Your torso is lifting up toward the sky, creating a push-pull energy, pushing down, drawing up. Breathe in and breathe out. Hands to hips. Transition your feet back together. Other side. Left foot out, right foot forward. Add your arms. Energy of the legs, anchoring downward. Energy of the torso, spiraling upward. Next exhale, hands to hips. And feet together. Virabhadrasana 2. So in Warrior 1, our hips are facing the short edge of the mat. In Warrior 2, our hips face the long edge of the mat. Let's step our feet out. And if you went a comfortable width, go just a little bit wider. Maybe toe heel your feet a little wider than you naturally land. Pivot your right foot out, and when I say foot, I mean whole leg. The whole leg all the way up into the hip is rotating outward. And then turn your back toes in just a little bit. That helps you engage the toes and create an arch to the back foot. You're lunging into the front leg, the rotating front leg, as you extend your arms. Virabhadrasana 2. Press down into your front heel. Activate the energy of the front leg. Breathe in. And breathe out. Let's move just a little bit. Inhale, reach your right arm up. You can extend that front leg. Exhale, return to your lunging warrior. Inhale, extend arm, lift leg. I said that backwards. Lift arm, extend leg, and lower. And one more time. And lower. Bring your hands to your hips and pivot all 10 toes to face the long edge of your mat. And before we do the second side, we're doing a wide-legged forward fold. Breathe in, hands on hips. Breathe out, fold. Your knees can bend on the way down. Release your head so you relax the back of the neck, and you can bring your hands to the floor. Breathe in and breathe out. Hook your elbows around your thighs if that's comfortable, or you can leave your hands resting on earth. As you breathe, feel your back widen. As you exhale, feel your spine lengthen. One more inhale, widening. And an exhale, lengthening. Bend your knees more, engage the glutes. And with hands on thighs, inhale your torso up. And toe heel your feet together. Stand for a moment on two legs. Breathing, letting the muscles of the pelvis relax after that wide-legged, abducted position. We're doing it one more time. And when we go into the forward fold, I'll demonstrate this since you'll be upside down in that moment. We'll do the wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana, but we'll walk our hands forward and then dome the spine, so you'll look toward your navel. The shoulders might want to slide up near the ears. You'll keep them down near the hips. Once we're upside down with our hands forward, we'll rock. Weight to the hands, weight to the hips. Weight to the hands, weight to the hips. Creating a gentle rock and allowing your mid-back, not the upper back where between your shoulders, but the mid-back near to the bottom ribs, letting that dome. If you can imagine expanding this area into the space behind you like a marshmallow, right? Campfire season. Imagine a marshmallow back here in your low ribs, expanding and then softening as you rock. Okay, warrior on our second side. Take a wide-legged stance, a little wider than you naturally land by stepping out. Then we'll pivot our left leg out into warrior two. To engage the back leg, bring the toes forward a few degrees and then engage the toes. So you pull the toes toward the heel and you create an arch. Extend the arms. Maybe lunge a bit deeper into your front hip. Another inhale. And exhale. Let's move. Inhale, lift left arm, extend left hip. Exhale, return to warrior two. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Pivot your left foot so all 10 toes face the long edge of your mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Hinge forward over your legs. Once you're upside down, walk your hands forward. Then dome your spine so you're looking to the navel and you're rounding into the ribs. Then we'll begin to rock toward the hands, towards the feet. Hands and feet. Letting your mid-back dome, expanding like a marshmallow. Your breath helps you find that expansion. One more time, forward and back. Walk your hands back toward your feet. Bend your knees. Engage your glutes. With hands on thighs, inhale your torso up. And toe heel your feet back together. Stand for a moment. The muscles of your hips softening. Breath returning. Mind returning to the breath and the rhythm of the breath. All right, yogis. We're going to work into some lunges. And how we'll get into the lunges, maybe I'll show first and then you can join me. For a lunge, you may choose to use a prop. You may not need a prop. A block or a water bottle would be good. But if you don't have it, it's okay. So we'll start in a forward fold with bent knees. You can use hands on floor. We'll step the left foot back. way back toward the mat and then lower down. So that's how we're getting into it. Now, if you'd like to join, go ahead. You can be in that forward fold, knees bent, and use your hands where you need them for support to step left foot back. Now, as you lower left knee to the mat, you may choose to set up using the edge of your mat to give the knee a little padding, or you can place the blanket across the mat to pad the knee. So here we are in our low lunge, and we'll bring the body up to a high lunge. Right hand, left hand, you bring your torso up. And then let's do a little adjustment of the pelvis. Bring your hips back. Now it might feel like you're standing more on the left foot. When you bring your hips back, notice the pelvis. Notice if your right hip is higher than the left hip. If so, you can use your hand to try to drop that right hip down so that the hip bones are level. Now, most of your weight is on the left knee. Slide forward and bring some of the weight to your right foot, where it should be. But we took that moment just to adjust the pelvis. Now the back leg isn't passive. You can have your hands on the front thigh or a block if you choose. Your back leg is active. You're pressing into the top of the shin or even the big toes, or the toenails, I should say. So the back leg is active. Your front foot is pressing into earth. One more inhale. Exhale, reach your hands forward. Tuck the toe and create a little rocking to bring your left foot back to the right. And from the forward fold, we'll go to your other side. Extend the right leg back, lower right knee to the mat. You can fold the edge of your mat over, or you can use the blanket if it's there for support. Untuck your back toe and bring your torso up, left hand, right hand. Just as we did the first time, check out the pelvis. And I'm a good bad example. Anytime I make that transition, my left hip, or whichever hip is the forward leg, is lifted. So I have to consciously drop that hip down or create a crease in the hip, right in the front of the pelvis, so that the pelvis is aligned. Then I can slide the hips forward and transfer my weight to the front leg. You can use your hands on the front leg to create some lift through the torso. And as I mentioned in other standing poses, you have upward lift, but you also have grounding downward energy through the feet. One more breath in, and a breath out. Reach your hands forward, tuck your back toe, and create a rock as you come back to standing at the top of the mat, in your forward fold with bent knees. Breathe in and breathe out. Bend the knees more, hands are on the thighs. Inhale as you stand all the way up. Let's do lunge one more time. We'll enter our lunge in a different way, just to give you options for how you get into a lunge. We'll take a tabletop position, and you can take the tabletop directly on the blanket. From tabletop, swing your right foot forward. And I say swing because it can happen anyway. You can lift with control and step, or you can swing the foot out to the side and bring it around. However, you can bring that foot forward, find your lunge. Inhale, right hand, left hand to the thigh as you bring your torso up, and make the little pelvic adjustment you need to square the hips and then bring them forward again. Press into the front heel, press into the back heel. You're welcome to keep your hands on the thigh for support or for a challenge. Sweep your arms above head in a V. Your legs have grounding, downward energy. Your torso and arms have upward, lengthening energy. One more inhale. Reach your hands forward and step back to table. Might be a little easier to do plank than table. Just giving you options to explore. Left leg forward, Anjayanasana, lunge. Bring your torso up, left hand, right hand. And do the little hip adjustment to square the pelvis. And lunge forward once again. If you choose, sweep arms above head in a V. One more inhale. Exhale, reach your hands forward. Table, child's pose. Your knees can widen as you lower your hips toward earth. Forehead on the floor. Find your breath. Come forward onto your belly. We'll do a couple front body opening postures. I don't know if we've done this one, so if you want to observe scorpion first and then join, extend left arm, bend right knee, and roll toward the extended arm, toward the left arm. And then we'll return and go to the other side. So that's our setup. Extend one arm, bend the opposite knee, then roll to the side. And if you choose, once you're there, you can take a block for the head or a blanket. The top arm can be in front of your body by the belly button, or you can slide your top arm behind the back. Breathe in and breathe out. Return to your belly and let's do scorpion on the other side. Extend the right arm, bend left knee, roll toward the right arm, gently pinning the shoulder underneath. The top hand can be in front of the belly button, or you can slide behind your back. Gently return. On your belly, you can place your hands under your forehead. Sweep your left hand back for your left foot. With a grip on the foot, your elbow points up to the sky as you draw the heel toward your glute. One more inhale, mindful of the breath. And exhale, change legs. Elbow points up to the sky as you draw heel toward glute. and gently release. Let's transition to a seated position for just a moment. And here we will sit on the blanket. I'm going to actually fold it a little higher than I normally would, so I get a little extra support. Once you're seated on the blanket, extend your legs in front of you. The knees don't have to be fully extended. Do try to sit up through the spine, prioritizing length through the spine over an extended leg. So I would suggest bending the knees to find more length through the low back. Now sitting here, we're going to do some energy churning poses, or energy unlocking poses. They're churning movements with our breath. We're going to start with just an arm movement, inhaling one up and then the other up. As you're moving the arms, just like we did as our warm-up, the rib cage is not moving. You're mindfully stabilizing through the ribs as you isolate the movement of your humeri, the upper arms. Reach your arms directly forward. And as you lean forward, one arm opens, you take a twist, and then you come back. I'm going to hit the wall, so I need to adjust. And then you go to the other side. You lean forward and open the arm, and then come back. Lean forward and open, come back. Lean forward and open, come back. Lean, rotate, return. Lean, rotate, return. One more time left. Return and right. Return. Imagine you're churning butter with an enormous butter churn. You're leaning back and then taking it forward. Lean back and forward. Lean back, circling and forward. Sorry, there's a circle happening. I didn't clarify that in my words. Lean back and forward. Let's churn our butter the other way. Lean back and forward. Back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. Excellent. Bend your knees a lot. Let the knees fall out to the side. Inhale, and as you exhale, lean forward, letting your spine drape over the legs. Breathing as you flex the spine here. On your next inhale, bring your body up once again to the seated position. Cross your legs if that's comfortable for you. We'll do one more pranayama practice, and this one, think of it as a cool down. If you've found crossed legs, sit up tall, or take another variation to your legs that enables you to sit up tall. Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. Using your dominant hand, close the left nostril, inhale through the right. Change, exhale left. Inhale left. Change, exhale right. Inhale right. Change, exhale left. Inhale left. change, exhale right. Do 2 more on your own breath rhythm, changing after the inhale. Take your time completing your next cycle. You'll finish with an exhale through the right. And as you notice in Nadi Shodhana, you may have a dominant nostril, one that is very free-flowing and the other one is less free. That tends to change every 90 minutes or so. Let's come to our backs. As you set up for a back lying position, our Shavasana, you're welcome to take the blanket and roll it up for the knees. Once you lie down, you can let your feet relax, letting them fall out to the side. Similarly, you can leave your palms open toward the sky. Once your back is on the floor, do a scan of the body, noticing the parts of the body that connect to the earth. Your head, shoulders, hips, arms, legs. As you stay here breathing, allow those parts of the body to sink, to settle downward toward earth. While in Shavasana, notice when the mind wanders. And when you can, bring your attention back to the breath. Reinforcing a quiet space for the mind. And when the mind is resting, a meditative state may arrive to you. Enjoy an inhale and exhale, beginning to fill the lungs and empty the lungs. Bring movement and breath back to the body slowly. You may stretch arms overhead. Roll to the right side and eventually press up to a seated position. Taking your time on this transition from the meditative state back to the wakeful state. We'll do a sing-along, follow-along meditation today, chant. If you'd like, you can close your eyes. Hands can be at the heart or in the lap. I'll say the first line and then you repeat, and I'll say it twice, so I'll sing it and then you can sing it back with me. Swasti Prajabhya, Swasti Prajabhya, Paripalayantam, Paripalayantam, Nayena Margain, Nayena Margain, Namahi Mahisha, Namahi Mahisha. Go Brahmanibhya, Go Brahmanibhya, Shubhamasta Nityam, Shubhamasta Nityam, Loka Samasta, Loka Samasta, Sukhino Bhavantu, Sukhino Bhavantu. Let's inhale for an Om. Bow your head to meet your heart. Acknowledging the work you do to unite mind, body, and spirit, and sharing that sense of unity with the world. Namaste.